you better just strap in, buckle up, get a strap on if that's what you're into, because we are in for a ride with this. It's not going to get any better. People aren't going to shut up about it. People are going to be talking about this all the time. You already see it. I literally see channels every single day talking about what? The Nintendo Switch 2. I feel like I've done a decent job of only talking about things that I think could be potentially rooted in reality, or things that I need to counteract because people are making fools of themselves out there. But some of these people are riding this till the wheels fall off, but I understand it. You know, it's what's working for some people. People are genuinely interested in the future of Nintendo, in future hardware and stuff like that. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But today, you see the title, we're talking about some Nintendo Switch 2 stuff because there's a very interesting story that's floating around out there that a lot of people are talking about, and I figured, hey, I'll throw my 2 cents in. Even though I'm not a Nintendo YouTuber, I'm a Sega YouTuber and a new hardware enthusiast YouTuber. Emulation king. So we're all expecting something Nintendo Switch 2 related to eventually happen. Like, it's an inevitability at this point, and it's something that a lot of people are clinging on to any sort of stuff about. I mean, we heard people say that there was going to be a reveal of the system this month, in the month of July. That of course didn't end up happening, but we have this new article out there that a lot of people are talking about, so we're going to go over it. Nintendo Switch 2 release date area strongly hinted at, third-party financial forecast for PixArt Imaging. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself. Who the hell is PixArt Imaging? Why haven't I ever heard about this company before? Well, PixArt Imaging is actually a company that you have used their products without actually knowing that. They've been around since the Nintendo Wii. They've been working on various projects with Nintendo. They actually did something with the Nintendo Switch. They are somewhat responsible for the motion camera sensor on the bottom of the Switch Joy-Con. So this is a company that's been working with Nintendo for quite a while now. And obviously, if you're planning on doing, you know, a new system, a successor to a system, any sort of thing like that, you're obviously going to want to work with people that you've worked with before in the past, that understand your vision, understand where you want to go with things like that, so on and so forth. So in this article, this is being based by somebody called Money DJ, which is a Chinese sort of publication that focuses on finance. And what I find interesting about stuff like that is the fact that I like when it's financial stuff talking about, you know, video game console leaks, more so than when it's actual gaming, you know, outlets and channels and stuff like that, because I feel like a business outlet doesn't necessarily have a vested interest in talking about, you know, a brand new console or something like that. They're not in the business of clickbait, which every video game, you know, publication in the world is. You got to have that snazzy headline to bring the people in. So when you're talking about business related websites, they don't really rely on that. They more so rely on the actual information and trying to help people potentially make money on stuff. So Money DJ basically talked about Foxconn's business and how Pixar is tied in with that. And there's a quote within this article that says the following: "However, it is worth noting that the supply chain pointed out that the Japanese game machine will be launched early next year, which has been absent for many years. The game machine is also one of the key customers of Pixar." So basically they're talking about a new Japanese game machine is coming out. And when you think about stuff like that, of course, your mind goes into one place, and that's the Sega Dreamcast Mini, because that's what I want. No, obviously it's a Nintendo Switch 2 because of the fact that we're talking about Pixar, who has worked with Nintendo on things. So now it seems like something is being looked at as launching early next year, 2024, from a Japanese, you know, company, a game machine that Pixar will have a hand in, because Pixar will be making more money from this. It's been absent from the market for a little while, i.e., you know, from when the Nintendo Switch was developed. So many people are believing that this is sort of a confirmation of a Nintendo Switch 2 coming in early 2024 based on this report. Now, I'm not someone who likes to speak in absolutes. You know, usually, even on my most clickbaity titles, you'll see a question mark or something like that, because I don't feel like this is a definitive thing unless we get information from a company, or I get information secondhand of something that I feel is completely definitive and I'll roll with it. Then I'll go into definitive statements. But even this video is going to have a question mark in it, because I question a few things about this. While yes, this is a business related blog that is running this article, so usually, you know, I turn a more keen eye towards it. You have the whole thing about the translation of it, because this isn't a official translation that we're talking about. This is a machine translation. What does that mean? Well, you have things like Google Translate, all these different things out there that can translate from one language to another. Now, I think we're all in agreement that this is not a perfect system. It's a great system. It's leaps and bounds better than what translations used to be before in the past, but it's not a perfect system, meaning that there's room for error with these translations. And when you start to talk about room for error, things like this can be some of those sort of things. You know, all it takes is a regional dialect. All it takes is, you know, one word to be misconstrued. I don't think that's a word, misconstrued. Misconstrued. There's the word I'm looking for, by this translation machine, and the whole article becomes a sort of different thing. Look at the fact that whenever Nintendo does their financial meeting, it's obviously done in Japan. Everything is written in Japanese. So we get this initial Japanese release. Everyone hits Google Translate to sort of translate it. People run stories on that. And then we get the official English translation of it. And then people once again will run stories on the English translation, even though they did the Japanese one that was translated. Why do they do that? Because it's not an official translation. And you see things that end up changing with this. So while I'm not saying that this is necessarily inherently fake, you know, obviously there's a lot of sort of connect the dots situations where you could see, okay, well, you know, this is probably Nintendo. I'm just saying that something could have been lost in the translation with this. But there's a lot of people that don't care about this. They just want to speak in these absolutes, and, you know, that's fine. That's their business. But I like to at least, you know, give you a different perspective. So what do I think about all of this? I mean, we're all sort of expecting a new Switch. Like that's nothing outside of, you know, normalcy with this. Everyone's expecting there to be a new system. I shouldn't say Nintendo Switch, because we still don't know anything about what this system is going to be. It would make sense for them to work with a company like PixArt if they've worked with them before in the past and they've had success. The Wii was a successful system. The Nintendo Switch, a successful system. So all of that is fine. I'm cool with all of that. But the translation stuff kind of makes me a little bit worried, and sort of the timing, because if it's coming out in early 2024, what is early 2024? If we're talking about January, which I don't think we are, considering that Nintendo themselves said that there would be no new system releasing before March 31st of 2024, then like how are you going to position this? You know, is April considered early, or May considered early? Because you know, it's weird to me, because how do we define these sort of months? But beyond that, you have to obviously have a lead up to your new hardware. You have to make people want to buy your new hardware. There has to be a reason. The reason that you make a new system is because you're trying to solve a problem, whether it's, you know, accessibility, whether it's, you know, playability, whether it's you're feeling limited by the hardware that you're on and you have a bigger vision or bigger scope for a game and you want to do something bigger. You know, it's always solving a problem. So what is the problem that the successor to the Nintendo Switch is going to solve? Or will it create more problems? Will they go in a different direction? Because while everyone under the sun wants just a beefier Nintendo Switch, the exact same system that we have now, stronger, plays games, has better battery life, better screen, this, that, and the other. That's not really how Nintendo works. The last time we had a full, just, you know, new successor, a improved version of the original hardware, I'm going to say it would be Super Nintendo. You know, NES to Super NES. N64 was a little bit gimmicky. N64 to GameCube went from cartridges to discs. You know, GameCube to Wii went to motion controls. Wii to Wii U went to whatever the hell that is. Wii U to Switch. Like, it's Nintendo always likes to do things a little bit different, a little bit more unique. They always say, we want a unique game experience. We want a new fun way to play games. And, you know, would that constitute working with someone like PixArt? if you've done stuff with them before, but you're going in a different direction with this system. I don't know. The one thing I do know about all of this is, like I said at the start of this video, you better buckle up, because this sort of stuff is just going to get way worse as we go on. I try to curate my stories. I try to make sure like the stories that I cover are at least somewhat rooted in reality, somewhat interesting, somewhat credible. You know, I'm not going to do, you know, a story from some random, you know, stuff, but it's hard. It's honestly hard nowadays to figure out what's fact and what's fiction, you know, what's real, what's fake, what's fabricated, and what to believe. But at the end of the day, this is just a discussion. This is simply a discussion on a story that is gaining sort of views like wildfire. So, hey, I might as well try to secure the bag on it. Let me know in the comments section down below, though, what you think of this. Where do you see this going? Do you think that this is a logical thing? Is this something that's going to happen early 2024? What is early 2024? I sure as hell don't know what it is, because people just make stuff up. Like, I used to like believe in spring, summer, fall, winter, and like summer started in like June, and then it ended in like September. And then, but it seems like people don't do that anymore. People have all these weird sort of things. Like October is fall, right? And then like November 1st, that's winter. That's winter. I don't care if you live in an area where it's still warm. That's a you problem. You know, in the Northeast, it gets cold. It gets cold. That's winter. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. I'll catch you guys on the next video. I don't know why I just did that. I lost my train of thought and got into a thing about seasons. Anyways, if you're new, hit subscribe. Thank you for watching this video. Catch you guys on the next video. Later.